Bill Davis, Ancestry Lands, ancestrylands.com. Folks, great weekend, beautiful day. It might be a little windy, pardon me on that. But I'm going to talk to you guys about these job numbers and what they mean. I did a video before talking about the 818,000 jobs that have been revised down, but now we find out that they're probably going to revise it down to even more. So when I keep talking about these other videos about what you need to do to prepare, one of the things you got to really do in your life is you got to get rid of debt. You got to try to stay out of debt. Saving money is cool, but if you keep getting in debt, it doesn't really matter how much you save if you're in a revolving debt where you're paying high interest. And a lot of people don't understand that. Getting rid of debt and staying out of debt is paramount because, again, like I told a guy in a video that I did before, owning real estate, you can give someone $1 million and they'll blow it in a matter of a week. Hell, sometimes you might even find out a person will blow it in a day. And the reason why is that the mindset is not there. Everyone starts off at some point with no debt. No one has any credit cards. And then we start getting credit cards. And because we're not taught how to understand how to purchase, we're not taught about our purchasing power, we're not taught about how to be financially responsible, we go into credit card debt because we're accessing more cash than we have available to pay it back. We're living above our means. And it sounds cliche-ish, but again, look at the outcomes. Look at where most Americans are with their credit card debt. Look at where our government is with spending. They're not doing it any better. We don't even have the leadership that's showing the same competency that they can hold back their spending. And in your households, the education is not being taught how to better manage your finances. Now, you're taught how to count. You're taught how to go get a 9 to 5. You're taught a 401k is great. And you know why? Because that allows the wealthy people to keep accessing your money, the money you work for, so you can keep getting yourself in debt and need that job longer. You need that 9 to 5 longer because you need to be able to keep paying off that debt and support a lifestyle where you're still on the hook for either government money, government benefits, a government check, and you're going to still invest in a 401k because that's your only means of getting forward to retirement. You're not taught to build up passive income. That's not a class in school. You're not taught to buy up assets outside of a 401k. And hell, you're not even taught about what a 401k is. I mean, as much as people talk about why you should have a 401k, very few people educate you on what a 401k is. And why is that? Mainly because no one understands it themselves, but they can tell you how good it is. I don't know anyone who's retired and is living off 401k. I just don't. I'm not saying it is, but where's the data to show people are doing well in their 401ks in retirement? And I just don't see it. But I hear everyone talking about something that very rarely I've seen the living outcome from. So what I'm saying to you is, with these job numbers going from 818,000 to probably more than that, you got to look and ask yourself, if they're revising it a year later, but they're telling me the whole year that 2 million jobs were gained, and that's what they're riding with. They're riding saying that we built all these jobs, the economy is going strong. And then a year later they say, well, it's not as strong as we thought. We got to take that number down. And when I talk about a small number, that's like you getting a check from your job. And then them going back in and saying, well, we got to take about half your money. So you get a $3,000 check. Now you got $1,500. Are you going to be happy with that? Absolutely not. Well, it's the same thing here. What do the jobs mean? It may not be your job. I didn't lose a job. But at the same time, those jobs affect me because, again, when I go to I want to order a pizza. When these companies size down, that means you can't get your order in time. That means when you need supplies, they're eventually going to run out. They're not going to be enough there because the people that you need to bring things to you to afford your lifestyle, if you're wealthy, those people are not there anymore for that supply and demand. And that's the basics for economics. And if you forget that, you might be wondering, why is my pizza taking long? Why is this not here? Why don't they have an item? Why are we short on this? Hell, even in the medical field, I've seen them be short on saline. I see them be short on medication. Sometimes some patients can't get certain items because they're on back order. And when that happens, that's evidence of labor shortages. You'll see more evidence of their lies before you see them tell the truth. Hi, how are you? How's it going? I'm good. I'm good. You'll see more evidence of their lies. They won't tell you the numbers are bad. But if you look in your neighborhood and your local stores, you will see evidence that what they're telling you, that it don't pass the smell test. They told us that there were more jobs than what there were. And I'm seeing even in my area, the area where I live at, I'm seeing stores close down. I'm seeing stores come up, and I'm seeing a few months later they're coming down. What does that tell me? That tells me that there are not enough customers spending money, excess money, to be able to keep these businesses open. Because the businesses that are in these stores still have to pay rent for the real estate that they're on. They don't own the building. Most stores are renting out the space. Every store in shopping plazas and wherever you see, more than likely, the real estate that they're on, they're renting the building. They're renting the space. So if they're renting the space, they got to pay a rent every month. And if they don't have enough clients, they're not making enough business, they're not going to be able to afford that rent, and they got to close down or move to another location. And that still is a cost to the company. And if the cost keeps on compounding, then the company's going to go out of business and have to close out completely. So when you see that, that shows you something. Now, you shouldn't see 2-3 stores, but you got to start paying attention. The clues are all around you. Stop watching the news for information and look to your location for the evidence that the information is false. Keep your eyes aware and notice your surroundings. Be on the lookout so you can see, am I seeing new businesses popping up? Am I seeing more people? Or even in a wealthy area, if I see that happening in this area, I know things aren't great. I knew when my kids would order pizza on Friday from Papa John's, and every time the pizzas were running late. A large pizza would take us almost an hour, multiple times, to get that pizza. It would take so long. And it wasn't because they had a lot of orders. It was just because they didn't have all the people there to make the pizza and drive it. Hell, one time we found out the driver was the person that made the pizza. When did that happen? But people aren't working, the jobs aren't hiring, or they're not paying enough, and people are deciding, hey, you know what, it's not worth it. And then we stop ordering from Papa John's. And that's how that went. So folks, again, you got to keep your eyes open. The news is there to just showcase, to sell you something. They're not there to tell you anything. What they're telling you is what information they're being given, and half the times it's not the truth. Look in your local area for the truth. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands. Don't forget my book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, is on Amazon. Link is in the description section below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. And remember, folks, own property or you'll be owned as property. Phil Davis, Ancestry Lands, and I'm out. Peace.